Jai Hind, my warriors. I have brought two wonderful and fantastic stories. One is from that book that I've told you in the first video, and second is from my own life. So if you want to listen to those stories, then keep watching this video. The first story is from the first chapter of How to Win Friends and Influence People, that is how to avoid arguments. We know that we have argument with the people around us, whether they belong to our family or in friend group or anywhere at the professional space also. Now moving toward the first story, it is about Ghanshyam Das. Now you can see him on the screen also. Ghanshyam Das, who was an income tax consultant, he used to provide the knowledge to the other people and consultancy services on the topic of taxation. He went to the taxation department in a government office and he started disputing and quarreling about a sum of $9,000 with a government tax inspector. And the issue erupted on a $9,000 bad debt. The income tax officer was emphasizing on the fact that he is also going to put taxation on that $9,000 sum of money. Now to explain the concept of bad debt, it's not something big. Let's take the example of Ghanshyam Das itself. Let's assume that Ghanshyam Das has provided the consultancy service to one of his friends, and that friend has promised him that I am going to pay you after 2 months. And even after 2 months, he was unable to pay that amount of money, but Ghanshyam Das has already made the receipt for it. Now, because Ghanshyam Das has made receipt, on that amount also his account will be taxed. The same thing he was explaining to that inspector, that this should not be taxed, and he has done some paperwork also for that. But because they both were in a tone of anger, so no one listened to each other. Now that day has passed. After reaching home, Ghanshyam Das went into a deep thinking. He was thinking that how to solve this problem. There is a kind of standstill between him and the tax inspector. On next day, he went to that tax inspector and initiated the talk by saying that yesterday I was sitting alone and I was thinking that how to solve this situation. So I realized that you are also performing your job and I'm also doing my job. So I thought in the perspective of yours that you also have to follow the protocols of the government office. Now at this situation, the tax inspector became little soft and they initiated the talk likewise. And for the next 1 hour, they continuously talked and the tax inspector even started telling about his family. Now this has completely changed the situation. What Ghanshyam Das has done, because he found a stalemate at one situation, so he changed to the next solution. And the next solution was appropriate to deal that person. And after 4 to 5 days, the tax inspector called Ghanshyam Das and told that your case has been solved and there was no tax will be applied on that sum of money. So you see that how easily Ghanshyam Das has solved the problem in a very soft and a delicate way instead of going by the anger or obstinacy. I want to tell you a very famous quotation by Gautam Buddha. He told that hatred is never ended by hatred but by love. And misunderstanding is never ended by argument, but by tact, diplomacy, and conciliation, and a sympathetic desire to know from the other person's viewpoint. So that's very important. Focus on each word because each word has value in it. Because unless we see something with the perspective of other people, we don't realize and we start condemning or criticizing that person. So instead of doing that, if we understand the situation of other person, then everything will be solved easily. So this is the first story. As we move forward, second story that is based on my own life instance. So I went to the bank. Basically my bank is CBI. No, it's not that Central Bureau of Investigation.
नहीं सारुण के यहाँ कुछ तो गड़बड़ है जरूर कोई ना कोई गड़बड़.
It is Central Bank of India. So I went to my branch. There was a person at the help desk. There were around 5 to 6 people who crowded around that help desk and asking about their queries. I just waited there for some time as most of the people left, and now I initiated the talk with that boy by asking my query. But in meanwhile, I just asked him that how did you get that job at the help desk? Even I was trying to get this because I was in a dire need of this job. Now at this question he got triggered. He got interested to answer my question because everyone wants to tell their achievements. So he started telling that there was a recruitment process that was going on and one of my confederate has told me that this position is vacant for the application. So I applied that and by giving a small interview I got selected. Next I asked few more questions related to his job itself, and we became so close to each other that I just in between I asked that, can you give me your number? So he gave me his number, and you know what is the benefit of that, getting that number? Because whenever I have any work, I call to him and I save my time and energy. One of the great personality named Jan Pierre, he told about the secret of his strong relationship with his wife. He revealed that even after 50 years of their marriage, their relation is still intact. The reason behind this is a simple pact that they have made between each other. He told that when one of the family member yells at the other because of some misunderstanding, then the other member have to keep his or her mouth shut and just listen and just control their emotions of anger. And he also added that when two people interact with each other simultaneously, then instead of noise and bad vibration, communication is never possible. So I hope that you liked it. If you liked it, then subscribe and also go to the comment and write there for further on improvement that I can make.